Hey everyone, welcome to the video. We are going to be going over my favorite plays at the wide receiver position for Week 12. Alright, starting off with Odell, he gets to face this depleted Eagles secondary. They give up 44.6 points per game to receivers this year, which is good for second worst, and are 19th DVOA versus the pass. No one on the Eagles secondary can keep up with Beckham, and this whole defense is banged up. If Jalen Mills is back, trust me, it does not scare me at all. He's one of the slowest corners in the league. And I just heard a report today that all four of their pieces of their secondary weren't practicing today. So that's a huge bump as well. And Antonio Brown gets to face off against the Broncos. It isn't the best matchup in the world, but neither was last week, and I said to fire him up anyway. Brown versus the Broncos gives me flashbacks of him playing Denver a couple years ago, and he went off. Chris Harris should be covering Juju the majority of the time as well, which is a big boost to Brown. Next is Keenan Allen. He gets to spend the majority of his time. He spends the majority of his time in the slot, 53% of the time. So he should avoid Patrick Peterson coverage for a good portion of this game. Allen is too cheap at 7,100 for a guy getting his kind of volume and upside, and his talent. And the last high end option is Edelman. He gets an excellent matchup versus the Jets slot corner Buster Screen. I've been picking on this guy all year, who just can't handle his own in the slot. The Jets are up there with Tampa in terms of how bad they are versus slot receivers. And also, you can't tell me New England isn't looking for a huge get-right game here after their big loss to Tennessee last week. Or 2 weeks ago, sorry. On to the mid-range. Let's talk about another Patriot and Josh Gordon. Last game, he had 12 targets, but only caught 4 of them, which I don't see happening again this week. The Jets are one of the worst teams in the league defending the deep ball, and that's something Gordon excels at. So give me Tom Brady's number 1 all day. Seems like point chasing, but it's not this week with T.Y. Hilton. The Colts should have their way with Miami, and no one on their defense can match his speed. Miami's 23rd DVOA versus the pass as well, and has struggled. I like Tyler Boyd a lot, only if A.J. Green is in, which sounds like he is. Boyd benefits from Green soaking up the other team's best corner and lets Boyd run free. This is kind of similar to the Diggs and Thielen situation. Denzel Ward has been fantastic this year, and he will be on Green the majority of this game, leaving the Browns' secondary pieces on Boyd. The Browns give up the ninth most points to wide receivers this year. Did someone say revenge game? Manny Sanders is going up against the Steelers, middle of the road pasty, and I believe Joe Hayden will be on Cortland Sutton for most of this game, as he handles bigger receivers better. I've said this in the past, and he struggles with shifty guys. So if he is on Sanders at any point, that's a good for Sanders. The Broncos are most likely going to get boat raced by Pitt, so we could see some positive game flow for Sanders to get a lot of work late in the game. The Steelers' defensive line has also been playing incredibly well, so if they can get the pressure on Keenum, we should see a lot of quick passes to Sanders. And there really isn't much in the bargain bin at all this week. I'm struggling to find guys I even liked, but I found 2 guys I don't hate playing. DJ Moore is coming off a huge week against Detroit and gets another good one against Shaquille Griffin. I don't mind picking on Seattle on the road compared to at home, and Moore is still below 5K, and he's been a pretty good receiver this year. So he is viable, but not someone I'm dying to play this week. You're probably also going to have higher ownership as well, coming off a big game. Last one is Danny Amendola versus the Colts. The Colts are going to pour on the points versus the Dolphins, and they will be forced into a pass-heavy attack. The Colts are 23rd DVOA versus the pass, and Amendola should see a healthy dose of targets for his price. Maybe you can throw another touchdown to Kenyon Drake again and help him get some more points. Alright guys, that's all I have. It's a tight end video, and defense will be out soon.